Well, we're here today with Sonia, who's the lady who got me into create this lovely wildlife pond that we're going to be doing in her garden.
Wow, he's a long wiggly worm, isn't he?
Yeah.
Rock hard at it. Yeah. Just got to work. She's on it today, aren't you? Lots. On it today.
She's red, yellow, green, but no blue.
Sonia then absolutely loving it, probably even bathing in it with her feet and having a little paddle, because you can do that in a pond. You can get as many as 3,000 creatures in a wildlife pond. These are the rare weeds that we need to put back. And it's going to grow just down in there. Well, hello again, everybody. Well, we're back again. And today we're actually going to be creating from scratch a brand new wildlife pond for these people in this lovely garden. And we're going to be making this just over here on the side of the garden. It's got a bit of shade on it and it's got a bit of sun, so it works well for both things. So that's really ideal. And what we're doing, we've lifted up the patio slabs and we're now putting in the shape of the pond. I've even got my little helpers here today, my granddaughter Evie, who's come to help as well, and of course Lottie the parrot, who's always out to give us some overseeing on the job as well. So you'll be seeing what we get up to and how this turns from a bald area of old patio to a lovely created wildlife pond for future insects and creatures and dragonflies and amphibians, which is what we're about and what we want to do.
So we decided to get a pond, a wildlife pond, because we love wildlife and we want to bring a bit of diversity into our garden because it's quite plain, so we wanted to shake it up a bit, put a bit of wildlife in, do great things for the environment, and a pond's just a fantastic way to do that. And then we were looking around for a local person who could do our wildlife pond, and went on the local Facebook group and everyone said Pete Pond. So obviously he's the man, and we're really lucky to have you, Pete.
Thank you.
And we've been excited for weeks.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Great. So we've got the team digging now, and it's the first day of digging, so we're just putting in the shapes and making it fit into the landscape, which is very important. And obviously we're slightly limited on that shape because obviously we've got a liner that's to a certain size, so you can't always keep adjusting and making bigger where you'd like to, because you're having to be restricted slightly because of the liner size. So we're actually digging that out with a little bit of leeway, so we've got a little bit of leeway either way, so we can stretch a corner occasionally, and by making a little bit less deep in certain places, and that way we can adjust the nice shape of the pond itself. So we have the team here working, and they're actually digging out at the moment and taking off the topsoil down to a certain layer. Then we set the water level, and once the water level has been set, that works really well, because when we know where water's going to be, we can then make the pond. So let's go on this side. It's not too bad. Now this is a laser level, and laser level is going to give us the water level in the pond, and obviously it can be used for making the plant shelf levels as well. And you can set it to different levels so you can actually get the same level as a plant shelf all the way around if you so want. I don't like a same level plant shelf, I like it to be undulating, because undulation of that plant shelf can be very important. So once you've set the level of the pond, you'll know what you're working to for all the way around the pond, and you can get it spot on level. And that's one mistake a lot of people make, and they don't get the pond level, so you have a lot of liner showing one side and no liner or even an overspill the other side. And also we have to think of the wildlife. We have to think of where is the wildlife going to come in from. Has it got a corridor that it could use to come in and out? Is there going to be room for habitat to be created? And that increases wildlife, which, like Sonia's saying, she wants greater diversity, and increasing biodiversity is the most important thing. Not only does this add moisture to the garden, which increases all the plant life around, but also adding that moisture brings in the creatures. And obviously things like dragonflies can actually see a pond and smell a pond, and they come to the water. So it brings them into the garden. They may not have been here before because it was quite dry, but now they've got a water area, and that diversity there is immense, absolutely immense. 3,000 species can be found in a pond. 3,000, amazing. And you think an oak tree only supports 2,000, so wow, you can get such wow from a pond. You can have, you can use. That'd be cool. The amount of soil that comes out of a pond. Remember, when you're digging a pond, obviously this is hard packed ground soil, so when you actually loosen it up and dig it up, air gets around the particles, so it actually expands 3 times its volume. So that volume looks enormous when you put it out on tarpaulins from what you've actually originally dug, whereas in here it doesn't look like there's a lot to dig out. When you start putting it out there, it looks like an enormous pile, but obviously a lot of that is going to be put back, either put back to do levelling on the pond, or put back, if it's good soil, we can use it on the plant shelves for planting. So we actually, because we're making a wildlife pond, we don't leave a line of bald and vulnerable to predators to actually pierce it. So by putting soil back on, it gives us then a much better medium for creatures to live in, but it also means that the pond itself becomes more natural looking as well. So you don't see a nasty, horrible liner, which can look really horrible in a pond. And obviously a nice clean fish pond, you need to have a clean black liner. But wildlife ponds, we want to have that dirt. The dirt is what the creatures live in. I mean, as I'm saying, about 3,000 species could be found in a pond, and this one here will certainly support newts and frogs. And I know just up on the downs here there's great crested newt ponds, so great crested newts could find their way. Generally they don't come to garden ponds, but they could find their way to this pond. But I'm sure smooth newts and palmate newts will come here, and I'm sure we'll get the common frog, and with any luck we'll get some toads, because toads live a long time and they don't generally go to very many new ponds. But if they do and they actually start breeding in that pond must be kept forever, never be got rid of, because then it becomes vitally important for that breeding colony of toads, and they can only come back to that pond that they've bred from. And the more you look at what lives around a pond and drinks from a pond, everything needs to have a drink of water. So you'll be surprised the amount of creatures that come and actually come for a drink from the pond.
We get bats, so they circle around the house. They usually come out from around May, exactly the same time at night, around 8 when it's dusk.
Yeah.
And then they'll circle around the house with quite a big loop.
Yeah.
So hopefully they'll make use of this one. That would be fab.
When bats leave their roost, they must take a drink of water.
There you
And
go.
the pond is a perfect place because they fly across it, take a sip and carry on.
So, Paul Lawrence, talk me through what's happened.
Well, I was rollerblading on Friday just gone, and had a bit of a fall. I say a bit of a fall, it was quite a big fall. I fell probably roughly about 8 to 10 foot straight down onto my side. It was either my side or my face, so I chose the side, and now I'm definitely paying for it. So digging holes, lifting slabs and shifting mud is not the greatest thing to be doing today.
We're a man down.
Yeah, we're a man down, but I'm still doing what I can.
1 sugar milky, please.
I know you will.
Green cup, please.
I made you about 100.
Nathan, there's something different about you. It's a great look you've got there.
I've shaved again.
It's great.
It's easier to manage.
She's on it today, aren't you lots? On it today, eh?
Well, Lottie is a parrot, a rainbow bird, just like normal rainbows. But she's kind of different. She's red, yellow, green, but no blue.
Do you have her on your shoulder?
No, not yet. only at lunchtime I'll have her on my shoulder. Or maybe on my head. I've got a snack I can give her.
What does she eat?
Well, she does eat biscuits, but I didn't bought any. Maybe she can have a grape. She might definitely eat a grape. She might not. But
Should we try?
Yeah. Maybe she will.
Okay.
Honey! Honey! Honey bird!
Oh. Does she want a grape? Does she want a grape? You have to break it open. Bite a bit out of it, Evie. She might like it then, because she'll get the moisture then. Does she want it? She don't want it.
Maybe she will.
Let me try. Want this? No, she don't want it. She's fine. She's happy.
Yeah. She picked up.
That's why I got it. That's my shot. I got that for me. I don't have to work hard. That's why I got the little shot. I got the little shot. So I have to work hard. Good start. First day. Good start.